What's up, guys? This is just a quick playthrough of the new Resident Evil 3 demo. I know there are quite a few of these out there on YouTube, but figured I'd post my own. Now, when you're playing this, if you actually want to be able to explore, take the time to see everything, it's a good idea to leave that fire hose, and I'll show you that later on the ground and not pick it up yet, because once you do that, that's what starts the whole Nemesis chase.
She is an elite operative of
Leave that
RPD
be
Special
while you're
Tactics
exploring,
and Rescue
gathering
Service.
everything, checking out everything
Her
that you want
name is
before picking it up. Because once you release the Nemesis, it's time to get the hell out.
Nice to meet you, Jill. I am UBCS Platoon Leader Mikhail Viktor. My team was sent here to rescue civilians.
Right. How's that going for you?
The city is completely cut off,
And
isolated.
this graphics look
Most
amazing,
of the
and these people
100,000
look so realistic.
civilians will wind up dead.
Even Homeboy's
correction,
hair over
undead.
here looks realistic, and it's crazy. It looks like
My
somebody
platoon has
killed a
suffered serious
small
losses.
animal of some kind and put on
Just
top of his
keeping
head.
them alive is more than I can manage.
Look at that. That
Well,
is
you can thank your
insane.
corporate overlords for that.
Yes. Well,
Like beating
we
this
are
game,
doing
your
all
reward
we
should be
can.
a set of clippers
If
so
we
you
can get the
cut
subway
his
train
hair.
moving, we can evacuate some survivors. But we need help. My men cannot do this alone.
Now, I have played the original Resident Evil 3 a long time ago,
Right.
though I don't remember it very
I'm in.
well. So,
I
kind of
am
like
on
with
your
Resident Evil 2,
Not yours.
there's a lot of things I'm going to have to
cool. We all want the same
refamiliarize
thing.
myself with,
Thank you,
but the
Jill.
basics are there. I mean, if you've played any of the Resident
All right,
Evils,
super
you know
Here you go.
inventory
use
management
this
is
to
a
stay in
huge
contact.
deal.
I
Combining
know where the radio
items,
is.
things like that. I mean, if you've played one, you've played them
First
all.
things first. We need to get you geared up. Head up the street level. You'll find supplies there.
And right off the bat, they're going to give you a crafting guide. And again, if you play any of the Resident Evils, you know about crafting. It's something that's pretty standard in all the RE games. This just tells you about what's going down. Nothing over there. My favorite part, he calls you 3 seconds after you left.
It's me again.
Hey, you made it up there yet?
Outside yet?
Working on it. So what's the plan?
The
I
old
literally
tanks got me
just
clearing the
left
tracks.
5 seconds
You might get
behind
the
me.
subway infrastructure back online.
And how do I do that?
Let's start by restoring power. I'll navigate you to the substation once you hit the main road.
Copy that. Let's do this fast.
Yeah. Herbage. Another Resident Evil staple, herbage. Gunpowder. Yeah, we know. So you combine 2 standard gunpowders to get handgun ammunition, and you combine high grade and standard for shotgun ammunition. And look, the boxes from Resident Evil 7 are back. Now, to anyone that doesn't know, a regular green herb will give you a very small amount of health back. However, if you combine it with a red herb, it will restore all of your health. And there are blue herbs as well. Those are for poison, I think. Yeah. Another herb guide. I'm gonna go ahead and drop in the green herbs. Storage boxes again play a huge part in any Resident Evil game. Stay out of my storage box,
More
homie.
survivors. Gotta get that train moving.
We get to check out how good my internet is when I'm recording something. Wow. Man, you guys are gonna have to excuse that. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am kind of a completionist. I like to explore everything. I like to make sure everyone is dead completely. I don't want them respawning if I have to come back through. I know a lot of people just like to run past them, but that is not me. I love the shadow play here. The zombie having the meal on the other side. There we go. A little bit better aim. Man, he is approaching quickly. Oh, I love those critical hits. Well, why couldn't I have gotten that on hit one as opposed to shot hits? That's actually one thing I didn't like about the Resident Evil 2 remake is it grades you on how quickly you get through. And to me, that's just insane. I mean, it should grade you on how well you find everything, or how many times you save, how many times you die, anything other than just how quickly. Otherwise, you're going to miss a lot of stuff if you're trying to just get a great grade. Now, I do remember that Jill in Resident Evil 3, the old one, is a master of picking locks. And someone told me that all of these yellow locks will be locks that Jill can pick later on during the regular game. Need some bolt cutters. And another great thing about this game are these red
Carlos,
barrels.
I've reached the main avenue. Which way do I go?
See a big transmission tower? That's the substation.
Which
You'll
I'll
have to
show you
circle
here in
around
just a
through an
minute.
alley to your right to get there.
You mean the alley that's on fire?
Maybe. Surely a tall drink of water like yourself to put out a few flames.
Mophead. Fuck you, Mophead. Alright. So this is what I'm talking about, the hose. This is where you'll end up using it, but for right now, we're not going to pick it up. Love that. Saves a ton of ammunition. Really could have used something like that in RE2. Oh, critical. Oh, here's another one of these. They have these things now. You can shoot them and it shocks the zombies, keeps them in place. Now, personally, I have a harder time hitting these things in the head when they're being frozen in place because they convulse. Ah, yeah. I hate when I think they're going to sway in one direction, but they end up swaying in a different one. Now see, I watch all these other guys on YouTube just run past all these zombies, and that's great and wonderful if it's an area that you're never going to have to come back through again. But when you do, or if you do, they're just going to be there all over again, causing you to waste more ammo. So I like to go ahead and make sure things are dead. Again, another one of the yellow locks, which should be able to get into throughout the regular game. And there are your bolt cutters. So we're going to go ahead and do some combining and storing. Store this. Combine this. Bolt cutters. Okay. Let us continue. Oh yes, another red barrel. Get everybody? I think so. On top of the items, the map will also help you find other things. If the area is red, that means you're currently exploring it or there's something left. If it's green, like this area is, then that means you got everything. And for some reason, this area always stays red because that's where that yellow locked door is. So I'm assuming that's why it's red. But as you can see, we've gotten everything up to this point, and now we are here. Not only will it tell you if you've missed an item, it will also tell you what item you missed. So you know if you really need to go back there to get it. Sit right like this, buddy. Alright. It took me forever to realize this red barrel was here. There's just so many barrels and I cannot see the color of that. My eyesight's getting terrible. Shotgun shells. We all know what that means. We'll be getting the shotgun throughout this demo. Now, we don't necessarily have to yet, but I'm going to go ahead and stop back at our storage box, drop some items off. Again, another Resident Evil staple is definitely item management. If you've ever played before, you know there are areas where you're going to have to do it. Just like to make sure everything's good and dead. Now, someone actually told me, and I don't know if this is true or not, I guess I probably need to look it up, but like in this one and in the second one, when you're aiming, when the crosshairs are like that and they're far apart, it doesn't do as much damage as if you wait until it zeroes in like this. I don't know if that's the case or not. Makes sense, I guess. Sometimes it's really hard to get them to zero in.
This must be the subway company's offices. Nothing.
Nothing. A manual telling you how to restore power. Now, there is your fire hose. That is the item you need to actually progress. However, once you pick that up, you release Nemesis, and he will not leave you alone until you leave this demo. So, if you're wanting to really explore, just walk by. You don't have to press X to open the door. You can just walk straight into it, hold pressure, and it will open. Of course, I stored the bolt cutters. Don't forget, when you're walking out, don't press the X button. Before we go back to the storage box, we'll walk on down here, finish clearing out this street anyway. There's a guy here who will jump up, grab you, and finish him off. There's a guy here staring at the barrel for some reason. Couldn't tell if he was getting back up or not. Oh, we can go ahead and combine. And then we can combine this with this. And that'll free up a slot. Now there is one safe in this demo that you'll be able to open, and the code is actually right here. 9 left, 3, 7. 9 left, 3 to the right, 7 to the left. Although, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter which way you enter it, as long as you enter 937 correctly. More gunpowder. Okay, before I progress, I'm going to go ahead and drop off some crap in the supply box, because there are several items that I'll be getting here momentarily. And unless I do this, I won't have to look at them. Not to mention, I've got to pick up the bolt cutter shotgun. Okay. So we're going to store this. I'm going to go ahead and store that, because once you get the shotgun, it does come with some ammunition. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take the shotgun shells back out and put the knife in instead. Generally, I never go anywhere without my knife, but I kind of know what's going to happen throughout this demo, so I know we won't need it for a bit. Okay, Mr. Shotgun. I always have to remind myself not to grab this hose. Sometimes as I'm running, I just kind of spam click the X button so I'll make sure and get everything. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but personally my favorite weapon in any of the Resident Evils is a shotgun. In my opinion, it is like the essential zombie outbreak weapon. I mean, what is better than a very powerful at close range, widespread, something you don't have to really aim weapon during a zombie outbreak? Alright, this guy is close range. You down for good, homie? You are now. More gunpowder. This just tells you where to look for the safe code. Alright. 9. Actually, I'm going to try it in the opposite direction just to see if it matters. 9. 3. Obviously, it takes longer. Nope, doesn't matter. So as long as you remember the code, you'll be able to open these just fine, regardless of what order you put them in. Now, this red dot sight saves me a lot of ammunition with this little gun, because I'm just not that great of a shot without it. Again, we'll check this room, make sure, yep, we didn't forget anything. Do I have anything that I need to store, or should we continue? We could actually drop this in a moment, so I'm just going to continue. probably gonna have to make a trip to this storage lock, even though I don't want to. Oh, one other thing. Throughout this, there are all these bobblehead dolls. Some of you might remember them. Yeah, I'm fixing to have to go ahead and combine that. But I think there's 20 of them throughout this demo. So I'm not really getting those. I honestly, I don't know where all 20 are. So I'm not taking time out to get them, but you guys are more than welcome to. Alright, last search area. And you'll notice, like on the Resident Evil 2 remake, I remember when you used an item and it couldn't be used again, it would give you this red check mark. And in this one, as you can see, it gives you this little trash can emblem. So that lets you know that that item can no longer be used. You can actually drop it. Is that all there is in here? It seems like it is. Yep. There's a bobblehead in here somewhere, but I'm not fixing that. Alright. And with that, it is time to... What are you doing live? Time to go grab the hose and release the Nemesis. Now, I don't know how frequently Nemesis is going to be chasing you throughout this game, but if you're used to Mr. X from RE2, prepare to be surprised, because Nemesis moves much faster and is just much more annoying as far as when you're trying to move from one place to the next than Mr. X was. And pretty much if you didn't cross Mr. X in the second one, then, you know, he'd leave you alone. But not this guy. Are going to need a hand grenade. Again, you cannot kill him, but you can slow him down. And I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. Got 2 healing items. We need room for the hose. Yeah, that should be good. Alright. Time to release the hose. Pretty sure we got everything except for the bobbleheads. There it is. That's all it takes. And you'll think, oh, but I don't see anything different. But just wait, because you will. Go in this door, and as you're going out, or any way you try to go, when you try to go back to that fire hydrant, you're going to run into him. This is just the more dramatic.
What the hell is it doing to them?
Alright, and he's already charging it. Again, you cannot kill him. However, you can get one of those. And that will cause him, that will cause him to freeze in place momentarily. But it doesn't last long, and these guys are back, so you kind of have to blast your way through here really quick. show you a little bit more of him. There he is. Where did he go? Oh yeah, he does this little superhero landing. Now, I'm gonna let him come down and then I'm gonna run. Yep, there he is. Oh yeah. Thank you. And as if you have all the time in the world, with him behind you, you're just gonna stand here and put the fire out.
There.
Yeah, put the fire out. And that's it. The game comes out in a couple days, and I will be doing a complete walkthrough. Dolls destroyed, 9 out of 20. Oh, I see what it did. It actually saved all the dolls that I destroyed the last time. That's the reason I didn't see any during this walkthrough. So, but yeah, look forward to seeing you guys here in the next few days with a complete walkthrough. Thank you very much for watching.